about the tax-free in Germany after 10 years. Mostly after 10 years the people make a new agreement or sell the property. Hello and guten Tag. Today we speak about Germany. Germany is a country in the middle of Europe with actually 83 million people and a strong economy. Germany have also a very interesting property market. In our last video we start to talk about German mortgage. This time we go more in the detail and you will hear a lot of information about German mortgages. Okay, then let us start with the questions about German mortgage. First one is, who can apply for the German property mortgage? That's very easy. Everybody, a natural person, a group of people, or every company which is sitting or founded in Germany. Also public institutions. The next one is the identity certificate for mortgage. Normally it's enough a copy of a passport, or if you have no passport, the identity confirmation from a notary. Next one will be documents required for mortgage application in Germany. That is not so complicated as it sounds at the moment, because the German banks want only first their own form about the personal data and all what you need about your income. The other documents about the property, about the land registration and so on will going by the seller, or you will going by the property manager in Germany. Mostly the mortgage bank give you a list of about all documents what they need. Next question, mortgage application, income certificate. That depends about the individual situation of the person or about the company who have to apply for the mortgage. Normally German banks agree English statements or English salary statements, but not often. It depends about the job what you have and how much you get on money here in Hong Kong or in China. Most important is a question about the assets, because this is very important for the German bank, that the full purchase price will be paid. Next one is very interesting question, because we speak about a minimum down payment requirement. At first I will tell you, in Germany is a very secure market and is a very high protection for the buyers of property. So the system is totally different to the UK system and also the system in Hong Kong, where you have mostly to do a down payment of 10 or 20%. This is not possible in Germany. You never pay in advance, or when you pay in advance only against secure. The German system is built up by a step-by-step system. To pay and you get secure. If you are not in the land registration, you have not to pay. The notary will tell everybody client when and how he have to pay. So this is a big advantage, so that you only have to pay for this what you have really got. It's the same by new buildings. You will only have to do a payment for the things which are done and not in advance. The next one is the terms of mortgage application. Germany have a strict rule and law, but this law is as a puzzle of a lot of laws and not with only one law. So normally in the application you have no terms of law, and first in the contract of a mortgage you will find the conditions for the next years, and this also after you sign the contract. The protection of the clients in Germany from a mortgage is very high, and the banks are very carefully. Next question, loan to value ratio. It's very interesting for the most, because it show you how much assets you have to bring to buy the purchase price in Germany. Normally For foreigners, the banks calculate between 50 to 70% of the purchase price. It depends a little bit about what kind of property you want to invest. By commercial buildings it could be more, and by residential projects it can be less assets what you need. But in this case you will do it. You have also to calculate the cost for notary court and so on, which is in maximum around 10 to 12% in Germany, so that you normally have to calculate purchase price plus 10%. The minimum loan amount about the mortgage is the next question, what is very interesting for you. The German banks have mostly a border about 50,000 euros. Under 50,000 euros is normally in Germany a normal monthly credit. That is not a mortgage. Some banks in the meanwhile are going to the border of 100,000 euros. That is the minimum mortgage what you can apply. On the other side, the maximum loan amount of the mortgage is unlimited. The finance authority give every bank a special amount which can be the highest mortgage for one person. But you will never know this by the banks. They will never tell this. But you can be safe that every bank have enough amount to give a mortgage. Otherwise, banks come together and make a common business. And it is really interesting, particularly in the commercial part of properties. Normally, every mortgage bank is strong enough to give you your mortgage. Next interesting question is on types of property mortgages. You have no official restrictions by mortgages in Germany. The banks are specialized of special parts of mortgages. For example, they only finance commercial projects, or only residential projects, or only a group of people, special who work as a doctor or in hospital or anything else. But the rest is totally free, and you can apply nearly at every bank who wants to go with you. When to apply for a German mortgage? This question is really interesting because it's also different from the things here in Hong Kong. In Germany, no selling contract will be done without a finance or a mortgage from a bank. So you have to start with a mortgage directly at the beginning. If this project or is this property interesting for you, the first way will be going to the bank. The seller of the property will also look for it because it is secure that you get the money. And the notary will also ask about it, how is the finance is saved. That's the reason. So you start very early, and first when it is absolutely safe that you get a mortgage contract, the notary or the seller will make a date with you or meeting for sign the contract. So it is a little bit different, and one of the most important parts. Now we come to the interesting question for the most of you about the interest rate. What is happened in Germany with the interest rate? Europe, and especially the European room, have minus interest rates in by savings and by assets, and the mortgage rates are also very less. But you will not have a negative interest rate. You will have to pay a little bit interest for your mortgage, and it depends how much high is the risk in your case, what kind of property you want to invest, and how long you want to do it. That's also very important. The system in Germany is a little bit different because you have an amortization rate. This amortization rate is mostly minimum 2% PA and shows you that you have to pay back the mortgage in around 30-35 years. And you have the interest rate for it. In Germany, you can make every time a fixed rate. In this time, you cannot change the interest rate. And the parts of the interest rate could be 5, 10, 15 years or longer, or sometimes in the meanwhile about the whole time of the credit. So it makes both parties, the bank and the client, safe that you have fixed rates and have no problems that it come down or come up. After this time, you make a new agreement with the bank, or you pay back, or you go to other bank. That is the possibility what you have as client. It is a risk after 5 or 10 years because nobody knows how it will be at this time, but you can minimize the risk. About the tax-free in Germany after 10 years, mostly after 10 years the people make a new agreement or sell the property. That is one of the backgrounds why the people mostly make 10 years. Yeah, who want to have the property longer time goes mostly for a long time, for 20-25 years or for the whole time. At the moment, the interest rate will be between 0.6% PA to 1.5% PA, which is depends about the time which you make your agreement, or how high is the risk for this property, or how much assets you will bring from your own. Mortgage and rental return. This question is important for the people who will buy a property in Germany and rent it. Germany is a renting market. You have every time a high secure that your property will have a good renting. The Germans are never go out after 1 or 2 years. They mostly spend in average mostly 10, 15 or 20 years in the renting rooms. So your rent is normally safe and then can use for payback for the mortgage. All what is more about costs for the house, for the property manager or anything else in the meanwhile is have to come in or pay by you. Normally, as a project manager, we're looking for income, outcome, and send you one time in a year a statement how much you have to pay, how much you have to earn, and at last, when this is a positive result, you will get back the money one time in a year. Next question: how long does it take to finish the mortgage procedure? This depends at the moment about a lot of things. Normally, when it is an easy case and it is not complicated and all documents will be there by the bank, it needs only 1-2 weeks before you get a contract. At the moment about Corona and about the long ways to Hong Kong, you have to calculate the time for the mail, you have to calculate the time for the signing from the consulate and the way back. So it could be mostly longer, between 3, 4 or 5 weeks. Because you have to sign it originally here in Hong Kong. A German mortgage contract is mostly more extensive of paper as a mortgage contract in Hong Kong. So mostly are sometimes shocked how much paper they have to sign, but it is the result of the client protection in Germany, and they need a little bit more paper. It is nothing what is bad or anything else, it is only more bureaucracy about it, but it helps you to understand and make you safe. At last, more tips for German property mortgage. Yes, you can. One important thing is that you need a registered agent in Germany. for yourself. If you buy as a natural person, in every case, if you have a company, then you can need somebody from a lawyer or anything else who are looking for this company. What is the background for it? That is very easy. The German banks never want to send the mail to foreign countries. It's also a question of law, because in Germany it must be that the mail have to send somebody that he get it in original. That's a case. For us it is very easy, because when we see the mails, can translate, can explain, and we can speak about it. So generally, mortgage in Germany is not complicated, but you have to know where you have to go, and you have what you do. I hope I had to make you snoopy about German mortgage. If you want to hear more, please subscribe to my column in the link below. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.